What's going on, golf addicts? We've got a tremendous Ryder Cup show for you today, including a special guest interview up front with our friend Hunter Mahan, who is live on the scene at Marco Simone in Rome to dish out everything he's seen about the course, everything he's seen about these players, talk about Ryder Cup experiences he's had in the past. Hunter Mahan was fantastic here. And then me and Pat are going to wrap it up with 20 plus Ryder Cup bets. We're asking 20 questions to get to 20 bets apiece. We're throwing out all the stops here with these props. It's going to be amazing. We're going to try to get through them as quick as we can. You don't want to miss it. And it's brought to you by our friends at Leaderboard, of course. Download the app in the description below. It's a free app on Apple, iOS, and Android now. It's live. It is the on-course golf app that you need to either A, keep up with your own stats, learn your tendencies, keep up with all your strokes data. All that good stuff is all free. It's got GPS. All the courses you could ever think about playing in the U.S. are loaded into the Leaderboard app. And it sends everything automatically to your USGA Gen Index. So it's just a one-stop shop. And B, it's a great app for gambling on the golf course with your friends. You're not going to want to miss the opportunity to take money from your boys. There's like 6 or 7 different gambling games you can play on the course. Leaderboard will dot the scorecard for you, tell you where everybody's getting strokes based on handicaps. You just put in the scores. It makes it easy. And then at the end, it tells you what everybody owes to everyone else when it's all said and done. So download the Leaderboard app for free. Click the link in the description. Let's get into this. This is going to be awesome. Here we go. Addicts, boy, are we pumped because our special guest has arrived. He's going to get us all good and lathered up straight from Rome in Italy, ready for the Ryder Cup. And I can't wait to bring him in. But before we do, Pat, America, right? Look at you. You look beautiful. You look lovely. What do you got there?
Indeed.
What is that?
It's just a little Budweiser tall boy here. The great American of beers right here. The king of beers, USA.
You've definitely out-America'd my America. I mean, obviously I've got the greatest Ryder Cup t-shirt anyone's ever made, which neither one of these guys are relevant right now. Mm-hmm. But, this one caused a big stir back in the day. We made them for Paris. It didn't work out. Patrick Reed, really sucked in Paris along with everybody else. But you got the flag. You got our Brookline shirt on. It just looks amazing. You look fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is we only get this every 2 years, so and we need a little bit extra because we're over in Rome.
Yeah,
which our guest is about to tell us a lot about.
Yeah,
and we haven't won over there in a long time, so everything's got to be extra. Everything's got to be over the top. So
you got American flags coming out your ears. I mean, this is just. This is just really special. So you've got me beat with the obviously the Budweiser tall boy there, the king of beers, the original Big Diesel. And I went with America's oldest brewery. I'm really into these Yingling flights these days.
Nice. Yeah.
So
okay.
Cheers to you. Cheers to America. And let's bring in Hunter Mahan live from Italy. What's up, Hunter?
Not much, guys. Not much. Enjoying your patriotism, and I'm getting the Ryder Cup week vibes from you. So I'm getting excited.
Yes, we are excited. What's the go-to beer over there? Huh? Have you had it? What's the local? I mean, I would say Peroni, but that would be very just lame.
I don't think I don't think beer's like a real thing here. It's wine, right? Like it's not. I had a Peroni the other day, but it's a wine. It's a wine country. It's not a beer country.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think I would do too well. I mean, Pat would do great. Obviously, he's a sommelier. But listen, you're over there. You're doing work for the DP World Tour, right? Is that what's happening? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's the world feed. So basically, everything other than the United States. European Tour Productions and the world feed.
Nice, that's awesome. So everybody's going to enjoy your accent, just like we enjoy listening to the other folks' accents during the Open and Ryder Cups over there in Europe. That's going to be fantastic. So you've been over there. Give us your initial thoughts on the golf course and the setup.
Yeah, I mean the fairways and greens are immaculate. They're just perfect in every sense. It's past Powell fairways. They redid them a few years ago, and they're really taken to sort of the countryside and the weather and everything. It is absolutely flawless. And it's always nice only having 24 guys kind of walk up and down the golf course for a few days. It's really, really pure. But once you get out of that, it is pretty gnarly, and it's pretty inconsistent. So, and the course has a lot of sort of up and down undulation. So you're going to see guys really looking at their books and studying basically every single shot because there's so much to take in. And so, I mean, you got to play from the fairways. You're not playing from the rough out here. You just have no chance to score. And the way the greens are sort of sometimes elevated, it puts even more pressure on the ball strikers, the guys that get in and play, hit it on the greens, put a lot of pressure on your opponents, because getting up and down from kind of weird spots and hacking it out of the rough, that's just not going to be a way to win this week.
Do you think it gives any, the big thing is like, does it give an advantage to one side or the other? I think the consensus is probably not much. It's one of those teams, it looks like to me, where one of those years where both teams look pretty similarly matched, unlike maybe in 2018. Would you agree with that?
I think the big advantages of the tournament has been here for the European Tour the last few years. So a lot of guys might understand how to play the golf course and what kind of works and what when to be aggressive and when not be aggressive. So I think the guys that have played here and had success, like that Nikolai Hohard, I'm not sure how I pronounce that. I'm going to have to work on that this week. I think he's won there and finished the top 10 this year. So he's got a lot of experience. He's going to be able to share with all his teammates and say, yeah, this is, it plays fast on this hole. Like when you think you've got room, it plays downhill and it's running out. You run up, you can hit a good shot this week, and guys like, that's good ball. And it just kind of runs and trickles, goes in the rough, and now you've got hit. Now you can't attack the green at all because you can't put any spin on the ball. So the guys that have been there and played the last few years, I think, can spread a lot of knowledge to the other guys. And so that does give, I think, a sizable advantage to the European side. But saying that, you still have to execute, and some of the top players probably haven't played there on their side, so it is going to be a little bit of, they're going to have to figure out as they go. But I do like this for the European side. It feels like a golf course that sort of might nullify some of that, kind of standing up there and bombing it down there and gouging it out. You're really going to have to think about every single shot on this golf course.
What are some things, as you've been out there, other than just the course, like that you've noticed as far as some of the players, how's everything, kind of looking? Any surprises out there as far as what you've seen out there? Anybody look really good in warm-ups, out on the course, just kind of general thoughts on the players themselves and any surprises maybe.
The U.S. side looks good top to bottom. I mean, they're playing well. I think Brooks is the only guy that hasn't played well in quite a while. So that's sort of a question mark. You don't really know how he's going to come into this and feel. The European side has more guys, more inconsistent. Robert McIntyre hasn't played that well. And so, Justin Rose has been kind of bad off the tee, and this is not a golf course you want to be bad off the tee. So I think they're going to have to kind of look at their guys on both sides and figure out who's playing well and who can kind of look at this golf course and play it the right way, and it sort of fits. It's pretty evident the European side, their top six got to play good, and they're going to play a lot, and they've got to get points. It's just going to be, I think, their top six is legit, and it's going to go against the U.S.'s top six a lot. And I think this is going to be kind of a heavyweight fight in terms of that. I think you could see a lot of guys play a lot of golf this week.
All right. I want to ask you about the opening pairings, which we don't have yet. And there's a lot of people, speculating on the first group out on Friday morning for foursomes from each squad. So I want to ask you that. Before I do, I just want to remind everybody that our friends at SoBet have a nice promotion going on right now. So it's $1 a month. If you click the link in the description and you sign up for SoBet, the TJ code is going to pre-fill. And then when you do sign up, you're going to get the first month only for $1. It's fantastic. And anyone who signed up for SoBet in the past or right now automatically gets entered into our contest that takes place in the first full week of April on a Tuesday. You get to spend a lovely Tuesday afternoon walking around a very special place in Augusta, Georgia with me and Pat. And all you got to do is sign up for SoBet. We're going to draw the winner for that in about a month. So get on it. Click the link below. Check that out. Hunter, thoughts on the first groups out for each side for foursomes on Friday morning?
Like I said, I love Homa. I love him starting out. I think he's going to feed off the sort of like negative energy off the crowd. I think he's like the perfect sort of Ryder Cup mentality, which is, quiet, calm, kind of stays within himself, but he's building off all that all that hate that I think he kind of relishes. So maybe with Colin, but I also think I sort of love him with Brooks. I don't know if they're going to play together. I haven't heard anything about that, but I kind of like that vibe. Those two guys going out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's going to play with Colin, and I kind of like that as a first wave, and then I'm probably, the European side's going to have to go with their big dogs. I think they have to come out strong with, like a, I think Fitzpatrick, I'd want to get out there, like maybe like a Rory Fitzpatrick or something like that. I think I want Fitzpatrick out there, get some good vibes, get a point, because he hasn't participated. Basically, he's been there twice, but hasn't gotten any points for his team. So, yeah, I think I would, if I were him, I would want to be out there quickly. I think he can play this golf course pretty well. But I don't know who you kind of pair him with. But I would bring out the big dogs if I was the European side. And I love Max kind of out there leading the U.S. side. I like Max and Brooks together. I don't know why, but I think their mentality, the way they play, the pace that they're going to play, they kind of keep to themselves, but they're going to be just kind of killers out there.
Yeah, I like that. I think that could be a really good pairing. So one of the things we're going to talk about a lot, especially when DB and I get into our picks later, because it really translates into how you want to make bets. But so we want to look at the guys that potentially can play 5 matches. So who on both sides are guys that you would kind of, have the best guess that you think are going to get to 5 matches this week?
I think Rory and I think Victor and I think Rahm are going to have to play probably 5. Yeah. I mean, I think they just have to. And I think, you could even throw a Fleetwood in there if he gets striping it well. Like, I think if you get a couple guys rolling on their side, you just keep them going. There's no need to stop and pull up the reins. On our side, like Steve he only had one guy, Dustin, go 5. So I'm kind of feeling like their strategy is going to be give everyone a break at some point. I can kind of see that. But the way Scotty Scheffler plays, he doesn't play with much emotion outwardly. So he can easily play 5 because I think he does such a good job of sort of conserving energy, just playing the golf, playing the shots. He's hitting it so freaking well. You want him in any kind of format because he's going to give you so many looks. So he's kind of like the one horse for the U.S. side that I could see them pushing out there. But saying that, I want to see Xander and Patrick play all the time. They're so good, and they're so they feel like they're going to be the favorites in every match they play.
So it sounds like you're big on Max Homa, which, I think makes a lot of sense. He went 4-0 in the President's Cup. He seems like a very patriotic guy. This has been a big dream of his. He's playing great. I would assume he's your answer here to this question for Team USA, but I'd want it on both sides. I was going to ask, what rookie do you think surprises? There's always a rookie every year, it seems like, that just comes up and really does some damage that nobody's expecting. On each side, who do you think that's going to be?
I mean, like you said, I love Max. I think he's just built for these team events as that mentality, especially on foreign soil. I think he's going to do great. I'm kind of interested. I mean, that Ludwig Aberg is a stud. Like, there's just no doubt about it. But I think that Nikolai Højgaard playing here, having success, he's going to feel really comfortable. Yeah. And I think he could go out and surprise you. And especially if he gets the right kind of pairing with a guy he gets comfortable with, maybe a Victor or somebody like that. If he can get comfortable on that golf course, there's nothing like success, and success breeds success. And when you've seen it and you've done it before at a certain place, that's pretty cool. And that's something that not anyone else really can say in the Ryder Cup this year.
What about, if you're thinking of like one bigger name, whether it's on the U.S. side or the European side, one kind of big name that you might fade this week, or somebody that you think could disappoint this week, who would that be?
Well, Matthew, like a guy like Matt Fitzpatrick, he's had a ton of success. I think he's top 10 player now. He hasn't had much success in the Ryder Cup, which is kind of weird. Mm-hmm. But he has played on the U.S. side, which I don't think they make those golf courses such bomber sort of places, and that's just not his style. So, I mean, he's one, it's kind of, you want to get that monkey off your back, so you could try too hard, and you could and you could put a little bit too much pressure on yourself. But it was weird, like, I just, I kind of worry about Jordan Spieth, this golf course, with the rough so heavy and so thick. It's in these team formats, you could try too hard, and you could try, your partner's like, yeah, just hit it up there, we'll find it, and you could just try too hard, and you could just not play your own game, which his might be very different than some of the other guys who want to just hit drivers and risk it over all these different corners and stuff. I don't see this as a great golf course for him specifically, I guess.
All right, Hunter, big question. Who's going to win, and how close do you think it's going to be? The Ryder Cups over the last few times have been kind of blowouts on one side or the other. Do you think it's going to be a close one? Do you think we get a close one this year, and who do you think pulls it out?
I do think we get a close one. I think this golf course lends itself to kind of crazy things happening.
Nice.
And you really have to manage your ball. And I think the European side, having a few guys play this golf course, I think that's huge. I don't think you can really undersell that. They're going to be so comfortable. They're not going to have to think as much as the U.S. side about every single shot and every single tee shot. So I really like them playing well, and their horses playing really well. And I think the U.S. I think it's kind of close, and then I think the thing will separate it. The singles are going to separate it just a little bit, so where it's about maybe 2 to 3 point kind of victory.
Yep. I mean, they've been catching all the steam in the betting market. I mean, they have literally their odds have been plummeting over the last week or so, I'd say. So it seems like that's kind of what everybody's starting to lean towards here at the end. I guess before we get you out of here, is there anything we should have asked you that we didn't, that we didn't know to ask you, or that you'd want to share, that you saw, that you think people should know about the week?
I think the U.S. is like their top 12 guys are playing better than the Europeans' top 12 guys right now. Mm-hmm. And they have just a lot of more momentum than I've kind of looked at a lot of their stats and everything and how they play. U.S. has had a little bit more time off, and I think that's sort of interesting. Justin Thomas played last week or 2 weeks ago and played well. I think he's turning on the right side. But the U.S. hasn't played much in the last few weeks, and Europe's kind of playing a little bit more going into it. I like kind of their strong start, but I think it'll be interesting to see how much the U.S. plays and rests their guys versus I think the Europe going all in with their heavies. I think that's going to be kind of an interesting storyline, going into like Sunday. How tired are the Euros going to be?
Yeah. Nice. Hunter, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate you taking the time. I wish we could listen to you. I don't know if we'll be able to figure that out or be able to, but
I've tried. I've asked, and it doesn't sound like it's. You're gonna have to get like an Express VPN or some sort of get real fancy with it.
Yeah. Well, neither one of us are smart enough to figure that out, so I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I'm sure you're gonna do a great job.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry about all the, difficulties, but we got
it. We're used to it. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, it's very much on brand for us.
Yeah.
We wish you all the best this week, man. Hope you do great. I'm sure you will, and have a good time in Rome. And we'll catch up with you later. USA.
Thank you for your patience. Thanks, boys.
All right.
Thanks, Hunter.
Hunter Mahan, everybody. Friend of the Tour Junkies. Good dude. Mm-hmm. Obviously an incredible golfer, and good to get his insight there, Pat. Really, really enjoy getting his insight. Like I said, don't forget about the SoBet contest. You've got the opportunity to come to Augusta, you and a friend, you and a guest, to come to Augusta, Georgia, that special first week in April, and spend a very special Tuesday afternoon with me and Pat, walking a very special place. It's going to be a great time. You don't want to miss it. And these are the best odds you're ever going to have to win an opportunity like that. And all you have to do is sign up for SoBet. Give it a try for just a month if you want. And if you want to cancel, you can. But you're not going to want to cancel. You're going to get it for a month. You're going to print money in NFL. I mean, the NFL guys in SoBet are going absolutely bananas right now. I know my boy Deepak over there won everybody like 22 units on Sunday. and that was after a heater of the first 2 weeks of the season. Like, the guy's been unreal. So if you're betting on any sport, especially the NFL or college football, you need to join SoBet. Just click the link below. It'll pre-fill our code TJ. Give it a chance and enter yourself into that contest that we will draw for late October. You can stay tuned for more announcements on that. By the way, Pat, I got to give the shout out to the Discord in general. Our Discord, the Nut Hut, which you can join that in the link below. There's a free version that we've opened up. We've kind of opened up the bathrobe a little bit in the fall, and we're letting people see some of the goodies for free. Yeah. And the NFL touts that we have going on in there right now that is free are unbelievably hot. Through 3 weeks, our boy Chalk Bomb Ben gives his Circa Millions plays every week. He's 11-4. He's picked, this is against the spread. He's picked 11 correctly and only 4 incorrectly. And our boy Alex is 14-5 in the props for prize picks, underdog, sleeper, all that good stuff. My boy Nate had a great week last week in college football, went 3-1-1. Our boy Dynamite Dean Emerson's dishing out winners in there. It's just a bonanza of winners all the time in the Discord. So just because it's the fall and just because there's not a lot of golf going on doesn't mean you need to stay out of the Discord. It's awesome right now. So hop in there, join us, get in on the action. And now, Pat, it's time. We're going to do 20 questions, 20 bets for the Ryder Cup each. And that's probably at a minimum. I think there's going to be some bonus bets in there. So I want to try to get through these somewhat quickly because we'll be here all day. I literally have 30 bets that I would like to make right now, but I'm trying not to do it. I do think we have to kind of hold on to our units a little bit, and it'll be fun once we actually get the matchups and we're able to bet these things when they're announced, and then the live betting opportunities kick in. It's just going to be a blast. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for us U.S. people because it's going to be happening a lot of it in the middle of the night. That's going to be hard. But I mean, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I am. It's hard, especially like with something like this. It's like the Super Bowl, for golf, because there's so many different prop bets and things that you can do. And you just start looking at them all. I mean, I'm surprised there's not even a Gatorade bet or something. Or whatever they have over in Rome for Gatorade, like what that bath is going to be like if the Euros win or if we win. But it's just, you have so many of these things. But so it's fun to look through them all.
Yeah.
But if you want to be prudent, you probably shouldn't bet 30 of them. But we do have a lot that we like. So
yeah, this has never been much of a prudent show though. So
it's really not. It's not a prudent show. I do have some that I'm way more confident in than others, and I'll certainly, let you know.
I feel like we had a lot less bets in 2021 for Whistling Straits, but we did really well. I mean, we did very well. I don't know. It just seems like I have way more now than ever. All right, let's get into it then. And I'm not gonna bury the lead here, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you betting to win?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you can tell what's around me, but there's a lot of USA stuff, and I'm drinking the king of beers.
Yeah,
I'm betting on the USA as the
USA
is the winner, outright winner. I'm not doing to lift the trophy, that thing, throwing in the time. I'm just going outright winner. It's plus 105 is what I'm seeing on DK, but plus 110 on FanDuel. So I like the plus money for that. So that's what I'm going to go with. And that has changed a good bit since a few weeks ago, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, I mean, the values now kind of turn to the US side. Now, listen, I gotta address this. Like, I caught some hell on my show with Gutsy on our SoBet show, Golf Gurus and Gamblers. I've caught a lot of hell from him because I bet Europe at 2-1 like 60 days ago. I don't like. I am
pretty good value there.
He doubts that I'm pulling for America. I mean, Pat, we've been to 2 Ryder Cups on site. One in Hazeltine, Minnesota. One at Le Golf National, Paris. Like, I am 100% pulling for America. I am cheering for America. I am also a gambler, and I saw some positive EV there a couple months ago with the 2-1. So I placed it. And let me tell you, I will have way more units spread out among wild prop bets than I will the outright winner, the European bet I placed a couple months ago and the bet I'm going to place now, which I'm in agreement with you. If you're betting now and you haven't bet it yet, the value to me is now back to the American side. I know that the European team is steaming, but at plus 110 on FanDuel, I think just, again, head to toe, top to bottom, 1 to 12, the depth of the U.S., I don't think you can overlook. And what that may mean in terms of rest for some of our studs, and maybe possibly fatigue for some of the players Hunter Mahan mentioned. I mean, Marco Simone is kind of a hilly place. So all that I've read and seen, it looks like it's kind of a tough walk. You know, it might wear down on, guys, fat boys, maybe some husky fellas or some older guys. I'm not being ageist, but I'm just being real.
Yeah.
So
did you hear, by the way, I heard that the at least I know the US side, the caddies have lighter bags. They have like almost like walking bags.
I saw the bags. I saw
But they didn't look like walking bags,
they
but I've heard that. Like even Freddie Couples did a walk and talk with what's the caddy that's on NBC? Used to be a caddy for Kuchar, whatever. I can't remember.
John Wood.
Yeah, and they were talking about the bags, and John Wood asked. He said, "Do you think the Euros are going to have the same bags that y'all have?" And Couples was like, "I don't know."
Oh, well, I don't think they do, because I saw Luke Donald's video through the like team areas of Team Europe, and the bags look normal to me.
Yeah. Well,
now Fred Couples walk and talk. Have you seen? I mean, like Fred Couples can't keep a secret. Say if you got a secret, you don't tell Freddie.
No, you don't. He talks a lot, and like I'm surprised he didn't even tell us. Like we couldn't have even checked off a bet, because he would have told us already, like who was going to lead off.
Well, I thought he kind of did. Isn't that what he kind of spilled? Maybe that what wasn't the latest thing that he spilled? Because originally there was the whole thing about Cam Young and him being a lock to be on the team or whatever. Yeah. But isn't the latest thing?
I may not have seen that.
Okay, so Fred Couples, I got it right here. Fred Couples doing a walk and talk with John Wood says Xander Cantlay and Spieth Thomas are probably going to play 4 matches. So, I mean, I guess that's not giving you a flat out answer to a bet, but it
could help with one of my bets that we've got that I liked on the our BSN show yesterday, and I'll talk about today. But
anyway, if you got a secret, if you got a rumor you want to spread, you give it to Freddie C. Let him run out with it, dog.
Let him do a walk and talk.
Sign his ass up for a walk and talk. He will tell you. I'd love to get him on the show.
Oh man, can you imagine me during that?
Yeah,
you would. It'd be one show where you didn't get a word in.
Yeah, that would be true.
I would just like throw you off the screen for. I might just
let you do it on your own. All right, number 2. I kind of didn't mean to put that in there, but and we can add one at the end. I want to talk about day 1. Day 1, match 1, foursomes. Day 1 winner. Foursomes being alternate shot, 4 balls being best ball. Luke Donald, Captain Luke, looked at all the data and he said, "You know what? Us Euro blokes are really good at foursomes. We kick ass. We kick American ass in foursomes. And so we're going to start with foursomes on Friday morning to get that early lead, get that early momentum, get the crowd fired up and roll." And I think they're going to win it. I think Europe is going to win foursomes on day 1 at plus 155. Which also, I want to tie this in, answers the next question. Tournament foursomes winner. I think you bet Europe at plus 120 on DK to do that. Because now I'm picking America to win, but we know that the singles is really where, that's where it separates the men from the boys. But I do think Europe has the advantage in foursomes. They always have, for whatever reason, or we can go through it. But I think those 2 bets are correlated. If you're going to bet one, bet the other. Plus 155 to win day 1. If you check that off, the plus 120 to win the whole thing for the tournament foursomes looks even better. So I would bet Europe on both sides of that.
Well, I am in total agreement. That's who I've got listed for both of those. I think they're going to lean into the strength. And I think when you're betting, you also lean into that strength of the European tour or the European team. And I would go with that. I just think it's a smart bet. I like the odds there. So I'm with you on those 2.
All right. Total agreement so far.
Yeah.
Singles day 3 winner. You can bet on that. I'm imagining we agree here too. U.S.
Yes, I think the USA wins singles day 3, and here's the reason why. I'm looking at plus 100. I don't know what that may be.
Plus
DK
120 on FanDuel.
Okay, there you go. Here's the thing. I think it's going to be really close leading into Sunday, with potentially a Europe lead.
Yeah,
this is the time where I think the USA is going to take one. on the singles day, on day 3, with their top to bottom talent, which is
Yep.
overall better. That's why I think they're going to win the cup, and then they're also going to win singles day 3.
Yeah, total agreement there. And I believe 9 out of the last 10 Ryder Cups, the team that has won Sunday day 3 singles has also won the Ryder Cup. So more correlation for you. If you're betting on Team USA to win the overall tournament, you should also bet them to win singles at plus money as well, plus 120. And same thing, if you believe Europe's going to win, I would bet Europe to win the day 3 singles if that's what you want to do. But there's correlation in those bets as well. I think you got to take advantage of. All right. Now we start getting into some more fun, unique player props here. Best chance, this is kind of teeing it up, right? Because this isn't an actual bet, but for all intents and purposes, we're playing this out. We asked Hunter the same question. Who do you think the best chance to play all 5 matches? Who has the best chance on both teams? Hunter Mahan said he really felt like Rory, Rahm, Hovland would have to step up and get that done for the Europeans. I also added Tommy into that as well. I have the same answer there for Europe. He didn't seem to really feel like anybody from US was going to roll out and play 5, although DJ did it for us in 2021. I would imagine your answers are the same for Europe. What do we think about Team USA? Who's going to play 5 matches, if anyone?
Yeah, my answers are the same. And I think across the board, anybody that you would ask, any pundit out there about who might play 5 on the European side, you'd probably get the same exact answers. I think Scheffler. I really think Xander has a chance. And if Xander has a chance, I guess that means that Cantlay maybe has a chance to play 5. I do think there is a sneaky, sneaky chance that Brooks Koepka could play 5. And I know.
No way.
I just think there could be he is.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
He's never played 5 before. This is his 4th Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? He's never played 5 matches. I looked at this. He's never played 5 matches before. He's not, like Hunter said, he hasn't played great on Live lately.
Yeah.
I just don't see him. I just don't see him as being one of. I see him as one of those guys who's going to demand rest. I think this. So I agree with you on Scotty. I mean, Homa, I also feel like I feel like Homa is going to be
potentially
our new energy guy, like our new team guy. I mean, he's just going to be fired up for this, and I could see him saying please, captain, if I'm playing well, I want to go every single time. Put me out there and let me.
Is he the Captain America in waiting?
I think he kind of is. I think he's kind of a let me cook captain guy.
Mm-hmm. I agree,
and I think he's gonna ask for it. I think some guys may not ask for it. I could see Homa asking for it, and he's playing great. And he's one of the few Americans that has actually played since August. I mean, really, Homa, JT, Brooks, if you count the Live events. Has anyone else played since August?
I don't think so. Yeah.
So I just feel like Homa could. I feel like Homa could sneak up and do it. I also think here's my really sneaky one. I think JT.
Which
I'm starting to cut I think I said on the show a couple weeks ago, right, that I'd kind of come back around on JT being on the team before he was announced as Ryder Cup, captain's pick. I'm now kind of coming around that this may be JT might come out here and just absolutely dick punch the Europeans for 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
And I see him as the same way as Homa to say Captain, if I'm rolling, you don't sit me. You don't sit me. You let me prove it. You let me put this team on my back and go. So to me, Scheffler, Homa, JT.
Yeah, I can't argue there. I still, and we talked about this a little bit, I think, on our show yesterday, but I'm not sure I understand why you don't think Xander and Patrick Cantlay can play 5.
I think they could. I guess I just give it and I know Cantlay's shown some emotion out there. I guess it's kind of a just mentality thing. I
get that, but the versatility of them.
Yeah,
I think they both can dominate in foursomes, and I think they both can dominate in 4-ball.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where I could see it happening because they can do both well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I it's not that I can't see it. I'm just thinking as we start to lead into the bets
The
here,
bet, I get that. Yeah.
I guess the
Yeah.
value situation.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about it. So, is there a player to get to 5 points, which would be that is a bet that you can make on both FanDuel and DraftKings. It is a bet that yours truly hit at like 40 to 1 in 2021 with Dustin Johnson. It's only happened 4 times on the American side. It's happened much more on the European side. And if you're betting this, I do think it favors betting it on the European side. As we talked about with Hunter, you've got not quite as deep a team on Team Europe. So in the event they don't get out to a fast start, I could see guys like Rory and Rahm and Hovland and Tommy and maybe Hatton and others who are playing well having to step up and play all 5 matches. So you don't roll out Bobby Mack and Højgaard and Straka and Lowry and Justin Rose's dusty ass. So you're not rolling them out there all the time. Those guys may have to step up and play all 5 all 5 sessions, as opposed to the depth of the American team allowing for some of the studs to take a break for a session. So and when you're betting for 5 points, obviously you need them to play all 5 matches. So for me, it's pretty clear. It's Rory and Rahm. Rory at 27 to 1 on FanDuel, Rahm at 29 to 1 on FanDuel. And then I think just because I want to sprinkle and just believe on JT just pulling the old, like, I'm going to prove it and rock this chip on my shoulder all the way through 5 sessions and beat everybody's ass at 50 to 1 on DK, I'll roll with that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think I cannot argue with Rory or Rahm. I had Rory written down. What does concern me a little bit about Rory, and we see this like in the Masters, he puts so much pressure on himself. But he is a great player when it comes to the Ryder Cup. He had a terrible year at Whistling Straits, or terrible Ryder Cup. I mean, it was in tears at the end. So maybe that inspires him, to really lock it down and do what he can this year and get to 5. So I think Rory at 25 to 1. I like Hovland though also at 28 to 1, just based off of how well he's been playing lately. So I think Hovland has a little bit of value as well. On the US side, I guess I got to just stick with the low key Xander that I've been kind of hanging out with. I think Xander could have a chance if he gets to 5 matches. Him and Cantlay are a solid team together. I think they could win every one of their matches, and then all Xander's got to do is get out there and win the singles on Sunday. So I think that can happen.
If Xander and Cantlay are attached at the hip for the first 4 sessions and they play all 4 team sessions, obviously they theoretically, if you're betting on to win 5 points, they could go into the singles at 4-0, which would be fine. Whichever one you hit. But I guess, if you had to pick one, who do you trust more in singles to get it done? I guess it's Xander for you.
It's Xander for me, but you're right. I mean, that's a different way to think about it. Both of them, if they are attached at the hip, they are going to be going into Sunday with a chance to get the 5th point. For me, it would be Xander, but that's a coin flip probably.
I don't know that Xander and Cantlay are going to play every team session together. I think they may mix that pairing up a little bit, but we'll see. Next question: player to get 0 points. You can bet on that on DraftKings Sportsbook, and the favorite or the shortest number to get 0 points is Bobby Mack.
Poor Bobby.
Old bag of milk, Bobby McIntyre, my guy who cost me the Genesis Scottish Open big outright at 80 to 1. The videos circulating around on the internet of him struggling with the driver on the range today, I think. I think that's probably it. I mean, I think that's the bet. Other than that, like, to get 0 points, not even get a half from the other names on that list, I don't love it. So I think Bobby Mack plus 275. It's plus 275. Like, he's probably only going to play 3 matches at the most.
Yeah, I think it just depends too on who they partner him with. I mean, if they get him in with a partner I don't know, a stud, one of the top studs that we've talked about, there's a chance he sneaks out a half or a point, and there goes that bet. A guy that I think could, and I could probably contradict myself with this because I think I could go both ways because I feel like this guy could also be a really good rookie, but we'll see. But I think who could get buried a little bit, and they're just not sure what to do with him, and he just ends up on the bad side of every matchup that he's going against, and that's Wyndham Clark at plus 600. I just feel like, and I like Wyndham Clark a lot. I think if Homo was not in this, there's also a chance I could see me taking Wyndham Clark as a top USA rookie. But being a rookie, being as I just don't know like what identity he has. I feel like Homa has his identity already, and we've talked about that. I don't know what Clark's is. There's a chance to me that he could just totally crap the bed in his rookie Ryder Cup appearance and have 0 points. And it may be just because he gets lost on teams that, he's playing with Harmon or something. I don't know. Or he's playing with, whoever, and they just can't click. So I could see that with Wyndham.
What was the odds on that one?
Plus 600.
Okay, 6-1. Probably should have put this one up front, but winning margin. We asked Hunter if he thought it would be close. He said he did. He did think it would be close. I agree. I think we're going to get the close one because of the way these teams are so evenly matched. I feel like that's what's going to happen. You can pick. US. If we're picking US to win, US between 1 and 3 points at plus 340 is the bet. I would imagine you're in the same boat.
That's the one I have written down. So I'm with you.
I like this one too. This is a fun prop. How many halved matches? So you got 28 matches total. 8 on the first day, 8 on the second day, 12 singles matches in day 3, 28 total matches. DraftKings has the over-under at 3.5 matches. I'm taking the over. Now it is you got to lay some money. It's minus 125. You got to lay the juice. But minus 125, 4 matches halved out of these 2 evenly matched teams. I just think I think is a bet.
Yeah, I'm with you there on the over also.
Nice. Okay.
So agreement.
Minus 125, you guys are taking a lot of those minus 125 bets for the NFL. Mm-hmm. And with NFL coming, I talked about the Discord and NFL picking up. We also are running NFL weekly listener league contests over on Splash. You can click the link in the description below. It'll take you straight to our commissioner page on Splash Sports, where we're going to run weekly NFL tiers-based contests. We've got a survivor pool going on in there. We're going to run weekly PGA contests whenever the PGA Tour fires back up in a week. And we're going to run that all the way through the end of December. So it's going to be a good time there in Splash. And just click the link. And if you don't already have an account, you can sign up right there and get one. The contests every week are easy. They're like $10, 2 max entry, 50-person contest. Congratulations to you, Pat. Because see, people think we're just not very good at NFL. Well, you finished first in week 3. I finished 4th and cashed. We both cashed in week 3. So clearly we know our stuff and our listeners don't. So if you want to test your NFL skills against me and Pat in our listener league there, click the link in the description. Check that out. By the way, I didn't mention this in Discord, but I'm doing a bunch of giveaways. Pat, did you see all the giveaways I did?
Yeah, it's just giveaways everywhere.
I've actually got more to come. I'm giving away, let me think about some of the stuff, like brand new Masters hats, putter covers, a dozen tailor-made golf balls, a Ryder Cup print painting by our friend Lee Wabranski. I've got some golf shoes I'm giving away. I've got a brand new, never been used golf driver shaft, a Rogue Aldilla. I've got apparel. I've got a putting training aid. I've got all kind of stuff coming and giving away all in the Discord, and all the free people can check it out. But one of the ways that you can enter one of those giveaways is to enter our Splash contest, our NFL tiers contest. So, check out that. Click the link in the description, and don't forget to check the giveaways channel in the Discord for more information there. Okay. So halved matches, we're in agreement over. All right. Top USA point score. USA only, top point scorer. Who you got?
Top USA point scorer. Okay, hang on. USA. All right. Well, I'm going to continue with Xander. I'm going Xander plus 600.
Okay. So one thing I think we got to remember here too is don't forget, people, you're likely going to run into dead heat rules, right? Yeah. Dead heat when 2 golfers tie for whatever you're betting on, whether it's finish position bets like we do every week on the regular tour with stroke play, or it's something like this, top USA point score. You could have Xander and Patrick Cantlay tie for the same amount of points. Let's say they both play 4 matches.
And they pretty much, I feel like they have the same odds in everything I'm looking at when it comes to individual type stuff.
Yeah.
So.
The books are really tying them together at the hip too. So if you bet Xander at what number did you say it was? Top
plus 600.
If Xander and Cantlay both finish as the top point scorer at plus 600, then the book is either going to probably split your bet, or they're going to split the odds for you, 2 ways. So just understand the dead heat rules. You need to make sure you understand those. I'm pretty sure BetMGM still does not have dead heat rules for golf, so it's a full payout, even though their odds may be lesser. But I don't know that for a fact. But check that out. I'm going one of 2 ways. I did on a couple of these, Pat. I wrote down a couple of names, because I think you can bet more than one. You can bet more than one.
Yeah, I did the same thing for the next one, which is going to be the European.
I think Scotty at plus 470 is plus 470 on FanDuel is the best number for him to be the top USA scorer. I mean, we know Scotty's going to play 4 matches. Like, there's no way he's not going to play 4. And in match play, I just think you can't underestimate just incredible tee to green play. Tee to green, tee to green, tee to green. Bore and bludgeon your opponents to death, hitting fairways and greens. And that's what Scotty is going to do. He's gotten a little putting help from the famous Phil Kenyon over there in Rome this week. Maybe the putter, I mean, it can't be any worse, right? It cannot be any worse. So I just think there's a chance that it just ends up being Scotty. And if I get him at nearly 5-1, I don't hate that bet. So Scotty there, and then Max Homa. I echo Hunter's belief in Max Homa. I've already talked about it. 9-1 as the top USA point scorer on DK.
Okay.
Top European point scorer. I'll start this one. They're both at 5-1. This is pretty easy. To me, it's Jon Rahm and it's Viktor Hovland. I don't include Rory in here because he's a little shorter. But, Rory's Ryder Cup record is not fantastic. I mean, he's basically 500. And I feel like Rahm has that fire in the belly, Seve, Jose Marie, Sergio, he's carrying that mantle. I just feel like Rahm is just more lit. I feel like his wick is lit at this place more so than Rory's. I feel like he's one that'll go to Captain Donald, even though he's kind of a husky boy, and say, listen, roll me out for 5 matches. I'll do what I got to do. And I just see him getting it done. And then, like you said, as good as Hovland's playing, he didn't win a single match his first Ryder Cup in 2021, but as good as he's playing at 5-1, I like both those guys for Team Europe.
Yeah, it's the thing about Hovland too is, if I remember correctly, at Whistling Straits, he didn't play terrible. Like, I feel like he ran into some buzzsaws in some of his matches that just, he ended up on the wrong side there. But I actually have the exact 2, so the same names written down. Rahm and Hovland both at plus 500 were my 2 here.
All right. Total agreement here. Top USA captain's pick. It's JT for me at 5-1. I love the value there at 5-1. I talked about it. I just think JT is going to be a prove it guy. And I think Zach Johnson, as long as he's not playing poorly, I think Zach Johnson is going to give him every chance to prove it and to make Zach Johnson look good. I mean, right? Like, if JT goes out and balls out, wins 4 points, wins 5 points, I mean, wins 3 points, Zach Johnson's going to look great. He's not going to, unless JT is just truly playing terribly, he's not going to just hide him. So I think he's going to roll him out, and I think he's going to roll him out often. So I'm going JT at 5-1 over the other captain's picks, which would be Wyndham Clark. Who else? Sam Burns.
Wyndham was
not Wyndham. Sam Burns. God dang it! Why can't I think about this? Sam Burns. Colin Morikawa, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka. That's right.
Yeah. Ricky Fowler.
And Fowler, yeah.
So there's 2 guys in here I feel like we're sleeping on a little bit. And their names are not coming up all that much. One is Ricky Fowler we haven't even said his name.
I don't know what to make of Ricky right now.
I mean, but
I know.
Plus 550.
Yeah.
I mean, to be the top captain's pick, I really don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. And I also think Morikawa at plus 300 makes a little bit of sense.
I think Morikawa is going to have a good week. Every time I looked at him for one of these, I just didn't like the number compared to somebody else. But I agree. I think Morikawa, I feel good about Morikawa's play this week.
Yeah. I also think you could find Morikawa playing in as many matches as, some of these other ones are.
Yeah.
I think, like Brooks is the favorite here at plus 275. But here's what here's what has to happen, I feel like, for that to hit. If he doesn't play 5 matches, which you say you don't think he's going to play, and maybe probably not. And Freddie Couples said maybe I don't know. We may only see like 4 or whatever. But I feel like let's just say Brooks plays 3. He's got to win every single one. He's got to win every single one of them for him to win this bet.
More than likely, yeah.
So I feel like Morikawa and Fowler here are the two that I'm really been looking at.
All right, what about top European captain pick?
You know what? I got to go with Fleetwood plus 225.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
I mean, I just don't see any other one in here.
That's on DK. That's between Justin Rose, who I think is, he does have a good Ryder Cup record, but Rose worries me from just age and like how many is he going to play? I don't know. Straka, rookie, we'll see. I think Straka could have a good week, but I don't know. Højgaard, rookie, and then of course there's Aberg. And for all the Aberg hype, and the dude is the real deal. I mean, he really is. He's long and straight and unbelievable. Obviously, just notched his win at the was it the Omega Masters. Nearly won the BMW. Had a rough Sunday. I don't know that it's. I don't know that it's like European Tour or U.S. style over the years to just like force a rookie into 4 or 5 matches. Like I'm sure Ludwig is probably being looked at as, we're going to get this kid 3 matches, right? He's going to play 3 matches, but I don't know that he's guaranteed the 4th. And everybody acts like he's just guaranteed, he's going to just play everything, and he might, but I just don't know that that's been the case historically. And there's an element of this. I mean, the kid was taking college classes like 6 months ago. Like, there's an element of this that's just like, this is a huge stage. This is a huge honor. You are expected to be on this team for another decade or so. Like, you need to probably observe and take it in slowly, right?
Yeah.
And experience it slowly. I wouldn't be surprised if he even sits on in alternate shot, like just in the first Friday session, if he sits, just to like, okay, let's get him on a golf cart, ride him around, let him feel it, let him see it, then put him on the first tee for 4 ball, let him birdie, let him make a ton of birdies.
Or the opposite, they just want to throw him in the pool.
Throw him
in the pond, let him go.
Yeah, Dad just throws you in the pool when you can't swim.
You better swim.
You better swim, boy. You better get up out of that water, boy, you dumbass. And you're screaming for your mom. Your mom's pissed. It turns into a whole fight on vacation. Your mom and dad are mad at each other because your dad threw you in the pool.
Your mom doesn't believe that wasn't how she was taught to do stuff like that.
And he's like, well, that's what my dad did to me, you dumb. And look how I turned out.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, your dad's an asshole and he abandoned you. Anyway, we'll see with Aberg. We'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
Top USA rookie. So that would be Max Homa, Wyndham Clark, Brian Harman, Sam Burns. Max Homa is your favorite here at around like plus 2 something. And as much as I've talked about loving Max, and I do believe there's that. If I'm betting Max Homa, I'm not betting him in this market, in the top rookie market. I'm going to take a guy at nearly double the odds, and I'm going to believe in the Bulldog Brian Harman at 5-1 on DraftKings. I think Brian Harman could be a very solid play here.
Wait, why would you not take Homa though?
Well, just because he's the shortest.
You got him sprinkled everywhere else.
Yeah, he's just the shortest number. I have him everywhere else. I mean, that's probably bad EV correlation if I believe he's going to be this stud who's going to play at least 4 matches, probably 5. That's probably a bad move on my part. But I just saw the 5-1 on Harman. I was like, I like the juice on. I like that one being juiced up, and I do think Harman the dude proved, man, like with the world against him and nobody loving him at the Open, he freaking dominated. He dominated. And it's not like Royal Liverpool was some short knocker's paradise. I mean, it was hit fairways, hit greens, have the European fans telling you that you're a nobody and there's no way you close this out in your ear hole and just beat the crap out of everyone. Like, I think Brian Harman could have a very solid week this week.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And the thing is, when you look at the odds, it's almost like, I mean, Harman is double the odds of everybody else in here.
Yeah.
So I think there certainly makes some sense from a value standpoint there. So for me, it is Homa. I'm going with the favorite there at plus 160. I'll say this too, though.
Plus 160? Oh, God, that's even shorter than I thought.
I mean, that's what he is on DK. I don't know if it's
Okay.
You make it look while I'm talking here on
Yeah.
FanDuel, but also we're going to talk about the European Ryder Cup rookie here in a second, but you can also bet just on top rookie overall.
Yeah.
So I mean, like if you're with Homa at the plus 160 as the favorite there for the USA, I think you also bet the overall at plus 300.
Yeah.
So I like both of those.
Yeah, plus 175 Homa top USA rookie on FanDuel.
Okay.
I just think
probably a little better overall on FanDuel as well if they've got that.
Yeah, I just like triple the odds there with Harman.
Okay.
So, all right, before we move on, we got a few bets left to go. Before we move on, I do want to remind everybody about our friends at Underdog, and they've got a special promo right now. In fact, if you sign up using our link and promo code Junkies, you get a 100% deposit match up to $500. That is good through October 4th. I was just emailed about
American dollars?
American dollars. They've never done a deposit match that high. So if you've not gotten in on the Underdog action, you need to. And that deposit bonus you need to take advantage of up to $500. It's always been up to $100. So click the link in the description. Use code Junkies when you sign up. It is the place for pick'em contests every single week for football, for PGA, and of course they're the best there is at best ball events and contests for NFL weekly, for PGA weekly. They get creative with the PGA Tour and they do season long best ball and majors and all that good stuff. So check out our friends at Underdog, and all that is legal in most states, and they're fighting a battle right now. So T's and P's for our friends at Underdog, so that the big bad DK and FanDuel people don't keep them from being in other states. Yeah. Okay, top Euro rookie, Pat, who you got?
You're gonna laugh. I'm gonna go with my boy Sepp.
I actually
plus 225.
I have Sepp Straka. Now he's plus 280 on FanDuel.
Oh, heck yeah!
I have him written down.
I love Sepp.
Now Hunter does make me like a little bit with Højgaard, because Højgaard's plus 280 as well.
Yeah,
and I mean he does have quite the advantage in that he's a winner at this golf course. Now, I don't know that the setup here, I mean, obviously everything changes with match play and Ryder Cup and setup. It's not the same. It's just not. But the comfortability of Højgaard at a place like this at the exact same odds as Sepp does kind of make me go, Although, Højgaard's also played events on the PGA Tour, and, Sepp Straka is a multi-time winner on the PGA Tour, contended in majors. Like, we know the kind of baller that Sepp is. So I do think there's some interesting value there at plus 280, especially, Ludwig is the obvious answer at plus 155, but I like it.
Yeah, I think Sepp, he's aggressive. We know that a bit about him. He's an aggressive player, but he also can, again, we saw it John Deere Classic. He wins in a shootout. Honda Classic, where he's won before, that's one of those like where you just got to hit fairways. There's a lot of trouble off the tee. You got to hit greens, all that kind of stuff. I think Sepp is very versatile with his game as well. It could put him in more matches. I like him especially though in 4-ball, but he can certainly do well on foursomes also. And I think he could be the singles day. I think he could sneak out a victory if he, depending on who he plays. So Sepp at plus 280, I like a lot.
Sepp likes difficult courses, and he likes courses that reward being in the fairway, like truly being in the fairway where you don't have to hit it, carry, things 315 yards. So I think his ability with the driver off the tee is going to be an asset here at Marco Simone.
Yeah.
First shot, Friday morning, foursomes. Now, what's different about this compared to so many years prior is we're starting with alternate shots. So only one guy on each team is going to hit the first shot. USA, Europe. I think My bet is it's 7-1. It's Justin Thomas.
Yes. I love it.
Zach Johnson, he's gone out first a few times, I think, actually. I think he's gone out first maybe twice.
Yeah.
Already in the now his best ball, or maybe it was the 4-ball thing, but again, like ZJ sending a message and saying our team guy, our glue guy, our veteran who barely made it in, who nobody wanted to be here you're gonna set the tone and you're gonna start it off. I could see it happen. Now the only issue is that with it depends on the strategy of who he's paired with. If it's Jordan, who's getting the odd number holes, so who's hitting the ball in the first tee shot is that's going to be the only factor.
Yeah, I mean, you just taken. I mean, it is a gamble on this one, and it's a long shot play. I mean, that is what this is. But I do like JT. He was actually those odds. Apparently, there's other folks that like him because he was at plus 800 yesterday, and that's bumped up a little bit to 7-1. So I think JT is he's who I had written down to. I like it. And then we just look and see what happens on the European side.
What do you think?
I think it's Tyrrell Hatton.
Tyrrell Hatton?
I think Tyrrell Hatton, who another name we haven't talked about.
Wait a minute. Why in the world do you think it's Tyrrell Hatton?
Well, I just think that there's a chance that Tyrrell Hatton, who's one of the more solid players on this team, that nobody's really talking about a whole lot. I think that Tyrrell Hatton could be one of the first people they put out there. And here's the thing. I think the other thing I looked at was the odds, because you look at, you could take like a Rahm, you could take a Rory. He could put out either two, like the studs, like Hunter said. But just what if he did take, Hatton with whoever he's paired with? I think Hatton's one of those that like fires up the crowd. He's kind of a fiery type player. So he was just it's an off pick. I get it, but I'm making a little gamble that it could somehow be Hatton at plus 400.
I mean, I guess, there's rumor that he would play with Rahm. I could see like if the Rahm Hatton duo go off together, you put Hatton teeing off on the odd number holes with some of his elite approach play, let Rahm hit the driver on the even number holes. I could kind of get there. I was going to say Rahm. Yeah. I feel like Rahm is the spirit of the European team. I know Rory's Rory, but to me, Rahm is the guy with all the Spaniard connections that I laid out before. So I could see it being Jon Rahm at plus 350, but you make an interesting case. All right. 2 more. Total number of matches that go to the 18th hole. That's what we got to remember. A lot of matches don't make it to the 18th hole in match play Ryder Cup history. The over-under is set at 10.5, both on DK at minus 110, both sides. I think I'm taking the under. I think I'm only taking 10 matches going to the 18th out of the 28. I think there'll be more that get done before that 18th finishing hole.
Okay. Wait, you said what did you say?
I'm taking the under 10.5.
I'm going to go the over. I'm going to go the over on that one.
One of us is going to be right.
Yeah.
One of us will get
hedging a little bit for one of us to be right.
Check that box.
Yeah.
Biggest name. Now, this is not an official bet, but my last question here. Biggest name. We asked Hunter this. Biggest name of the tournament you think could possibly just totally suck?
Well, I agreed with Hunter. I had Fitzy written down.
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. I think that there's potential for him to just really crap the bed. And you know what? There is not a bet for this, like you said. But if you somehow wanted to translate it into totally crapping the bed and getting 0 points, Fitzy would be 9-1. So if you wanted to translate it into that, you could do it.
Well, I certainly don't think my player is going to get 0 points. I think he's going to get points because I think he's going to play. And I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth because I know I said that he's also a bet for top U.S. point scorer. But when I was thinking about a guy who just wouldn't surprise me if he craps the bed for U.S., it's Scotty. Scotty's the big
putter,
name.
Maybe
because of the putter. Because if he's linked up with Sam Burns and a couple of team plays, I think Burns is going to. With everything you're hearing about this golf course, like I just don't think. I'm still not convinced Burns was the best pick here. With the way he sprays the ball, with both his driver and irons. This is not Bermuda. Which we know he gets an edge on Bermuda. not that he's a bad putter on bent, right? He's not going to be bad, but he gets a bump when it's Bermuda, and he's proven that over his career. I just if Scotty is linked to him and Scotty's putter doesn't improve and Sam, him and Sam don't really do the damn thing. I could see where you look back at it at the end of the tournament. He goes, Scotty went 1-3 or 1.5, 2.5, and he won a match and he pushed one, and that was kind of it. And it's just not what you want out of your A player, your number one stud. So I could see that happening. It was tougher for me to find a path for that for some of these other guys.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with the logic there. The putter is concerning with Scotty, so we'll see. We'll see.
Listen, we gave out a ton of bets today, and we've got more bets that we're gonna send out. Now, it's also a big week for us because Pat comes to Augusta tomorrow.
Yes,
we're recording this here on Wednesday. Arrives in Augusta tomorrow and Thursday for our practice round at Champions Retreat. It is my member guest. It is me and Pat's. We figured it's our 4th member guest since we started doing this.
Yeah, I think that's right.
4th member guest. Never made the shootout. Really want to make the shootout this year. Really want to make it. We've got our handicaps in a great spot. We really want to make the shootout this year. We just want to feel it, So unfortunately, though, the shootout or the member guest is running in congruent timelines with the Ryder Cup. So we are going to be preoccupied with our tournament while we're also watching the Ryder Cup in our golf cart. So we will be dishing out some more bets. We'll toss out some more bets in the Discord, probably on Instagram, maybe a couple on SoBet exclusively. And we're going to be keeping up with it, of course, but we just won't be able to do a whole lot of other content like this. But we'll be in the member guest, and any T's and P's would be greatly appreciated. And if you're watching on YouTube, in the comment section, give us a comment. What would be a tip for us? Whether you've played in one or you haven't, what would be a tip for me and Pat playing in the member guest? Or give us an inspiring word. We'll read them. We'll need the inspiring words because there'll be times where we're not playing well or we're down in a match or whatever. We're going to need it. So pump us up.
Hey, we're both words of affirmation people. I believe.
We are.
So we will take any words of affirmation that you want to give us.
Yeah, we are. So put that in the comments on YouTube. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And just know that we're going to be watching the Ryder Cup. We're going to be keeping track. There's going to be a lot of things to bet on. We're going to throw some out there. We hope you have a great time watching it. Share this video with your friends who get into the Ryder Cup if they don't get into regular PGA Tour degeneracy. This is a great opportunity to spread that TJ gospel and say, man, you got to watch these guys because they're fun. They have a good time doing it. They're pretty good at it too, and they do it every week on the PGA Tour. Send it to a friend. Send it to your dad. Send it to him. He'll do it. Pat's dad gambles. He's really good at it.
Yeah.
And let's just have a fantastic week. All right. Thank you to Hunter Mahan. Thanks everybody for watching. Let's have a great day and bend over our bookies. USA, baby. See you.